So first of all, we're going to start off with a magic ring. The way I do that is I wrap the yarn around my fingers away from me. So I've got my short end here and I wrap the working yarn around my fingers and away from me. I then take my hook and I go through the loop that I've used and pull my working yarn through. So that is a magic ring. And then it's just a case of, I try and keep my finger inside my magic ring so that it doesn't collapse. But it's just then a case of making sure that you can still hold everything as you normally would do. So this ring here is the magic ring that we're going to work into. Okay. To start a granny square, we're going to be using treble crochets, which means that we're going to use a chain of 3 as our starting chain. So I've chained 3 and I'm now going to make 2 more trebles into the magic ring. So I've got chain 1, 2, 3 here, and then this is another treble here, and this is another treble here. So I've got a chain 3 and 2 trebles, but that makes up our first 3 trebles, which is our first cluster. Now because we're making a square, we want to have 4 sides, which means our first round in this magic ring is going to have 4 clusters. This is one of them. Now I'm going to chain 1 to separate my clusters out, so this is going to make a little space. And I'm now going to work 3 trebles. Okay, so we've got the first 3 trebles that we did here, and then this is our chain 1 space. The yellow part of the yarn here shows our chain 1, and then these are 3 trebles. So that's the second side of our square. To separate the clusters, we're going to do another chain. So chain 1. Now another 3 trebles in the magic ring. I do find it easier to make my magic ring a little bit smaller at this point, so I usually give it a little gentle pull. So 1, 2, 3 trebles again. So you can see here our 3 clusters. So we've got our first 3 here, then a chain, another 3 trebles and a chain, and another 3 trebles. So that's 3 clusters. We're going to make our 4th and final cluster. So we're going to chain 1 to separate the clusters out. We're going to make 3 trebles. 1, 2, 3. So that's our 4th cluster. Now before we join these 2 edges up, we must remember to put the chain in. So we should have 4 clusters, but also the chains make our corners. So we also need 4 corners. We've got 1 here, 2, 3, and now 4. Now that we've got all the stitches we need in our first round, I'm going to go into the top of the chain here that I had, and I'm going to slip stitch to join it together. So that's all the stitches that we need in our magic ring. I am now going to drop my working yarn for a minute and just very gently and slowly pull on the short tail, because that will close our magic ring up. So just tend to give it a little wiggle around and make sure it's nice and tight. So that has closed up our magic ring, and you can see here it has made it a little bit tighter, but we have got 4 corners. So the 2 spaces down here are the 2 corners, and then we've got 2 spaces up here which are our top corners. So we have a little tiny square. Now it's good practice to always turn over our square when we complete a round, so I've turned mine the other way. This also, in my opinion, makes finding the space easier because it's in front of you and it's ready to go, rather than if we were starting here we would have to go back over our stitch to go into this hole. So I always turn my work. So this is the first chain space that we're going to be working into on our next round. As always with treble crochet, we start with a chain of 3. This is our turning chain, and we use a chain of 3 because that's the same height as a treble. So these 3 chains here count as our first treble. We're now going to complete our cluster, which is 3 trebles. So we're going to do 2 more trebles because that first turning chain counts as our first treble. So we've got 1, 2, 3. So we've now got the equivalent of 3 trebles in this first hole. We're going to come back round and finish this corner off later, and I'll show you when we get to the end of the round. We're now going to find our next corner space, which is over here. In that space, we're going to start with 3 trebles. I haven't chained in this gap here. We don't need a chain in between the clusters unless it's a corner space. So we're going to pop our 3 trebles into this corner. So 3 trebles in here. Now because this is a corner space, we need to add the corner chain, just like we did in the first round. So I'm going to chain 1, which makes a space in the corner, and now I'm going to put another 3 trebles back in the same hole we just did the last 3 in. 1, 2, 3. So in this one space here, there's quite a big hole now because it's got lots of stitches in. We've got 1, 2, 3 trebles. It's a bit difficult to see, but there's a chain space in the corner, and then another 1, 2, 3 trebles. We've got 3 trebles, 1 chain, 3 trebles, and that has turned the corner. Can you see how we started along this side and it's turned us round the corner here. Now we don't chain along a side of a square. We're going to go straight into our next corner space. We're going to do exactly the same thing again. So we're going to start with 3 trebles. So that's our first cluster in this corner. We're going to do a chain 1 to bend around the corner, and then a further 3 trebles all into the same hole. Okay, so that was another corner space. We've made 1, 2, 3 trebles, a chain, and then another 3 trebles all in that same hole. And the same again into the next corner. 1, 2, 3 trebles, the corner chain, and another 3 trebles. Okay, so we are almost back at the beginning now. You'll see the next corner space we need to go to. These are the 4 corners that we started with on the previous round. The next corner space was actually the one we started in. So you can see here that it's got half of the corner. We just need to build up the other side. So we don't chain on the long side, so we're going to start with our 3 trebles. And all of the corner spaces need to have 3 trebles, a chain, and 3 trebles. And currently the only part we're missing in this patch here is the chain. So we do the chain, and then we're going to join over into the top of that chain 3 with a slip stitch. Okay, just going to put my hook down so I don't clatter about. So hopefully you should be able to see here. It's a little bit difficult, hopefully that's a bit better. These are the 4 corner spaces from our first round, and then in each of those, each time we've worked around now, we've added 3 trebles, a chain, and 3 trebles. 3 trebles, a chain, and 3 trebles. And again in this corner here we've done 3 trebles, a chain, and 3 trebles. So we've done that in all 4 corners. So in every corner space you should have 3 trebles, a chain, and another 3 trebles. So that's the second round. Now as before, I'm going to turn my work over, so we're working back along in the other direction, and we're going to start again in this corner space. We're going to start with a chain of 3 and then finish off our cluster, and our clusters are 3 trebles, aren't they? So we've done a chain of 3, which counts as treble number 1, and then a further 2 trebles. So we've got our first cluster in this corner space. We're going to complete this corner when we worked all the way back around again, so I'm not going to finish this now. We're going to go into the next chain space, which is here. Now you'll see here, because our square is a little bit bigger, this actually isn't a corner space, and if we put a corner in here now, our crochet would no longer be square. So on the flat sides of our square from now on, and this is for the rest of the project, if you're working in the flat side of the square, we're just going to do 3 trebles on their own. It doesn't need any more than that, because if we put anything else in this stitch right now, we're going to give our square a 5th corner, which obviously wouldn't make it a square. So we're going to leave it as just 3 trebles. There's no chains, nothing else, it's just 3 trebles. And then we're going to move over and put 3 trebles in the next hole along as well. Now the hole that we're working in currently was one of our corners, and it needs to stay that way, so we are going to add a chain and another 3 trebles in the corner space. So that space was a corner, which is why we did 3 trebles, a chain and 3 trebles. This one here is along a flat side of our square, so we're only going to add 3 trebles in here. We don't need to do the full corner sequence. So we're going to do 3 trebles along the flat side. Okay, and the next hole along is another corner. So we're going to do the full corner sequence in here, which is 3 trebles, a chain, and another 3 trebles all in the same hole. Okay, now this hole here is on a flat side, so we only need to put 3 trebles in this space. So 1, my yarn keeps scooching around the table. 2, 3 trebles on the flat side, but this next corner that we're going into here is going to be a corner, so we need to do the full corner sequence. So we're going to do 1, 2, 3 trebles, a chain to turn the corner, and another 3 trebles. We're nearly back at the beginning now. You can see here where we started, so we've done half a corner here, a corner here, and a corner here now, so we've turned around that corner. So our next hole along is this one here, and this is going to be a flat side, so just 3 trebles in the flat side. And our last space is back here where we started again, so we've got 3 trebles in there currently, so we need to pop the other 3 trebles in to make sure that we've got both sides of our corner. And all we're missing from the treble 3, a chain and a treble 3 is that chain. So we're going to do 1 chain to make the corner gap, and then I'm going to go in. When I'm joining, all I'm looking at doing is finding the chains here. So this was chain 1, 2, 3. So sometimes it takes a little bit of twisting or manipulating, but this here is the top chain. And I'm just going to pull through and pull through as a slip stitch join. Okay, and we just continue in the same process. So all we have is a pattern that we put in each corner. So every time it's a corner space, we do 3 trebles, a chain and 3 trebles to help us turn a corner. And if we're on a flat side, we just do a treble 3. And then we do a corner space, so we do 3 trebles, a chain and 3 trebles in a corner, and just treble 3 on a flat side. And it's the same principle. This continues for the whole granny square. And obviously the bigger the square gets, the more trebles you'll have along the side. When it's you know, the flat side will have more treble clusters in, and the corners will be a little bit more spread out. But that's the same concept, and it, you know, it can go as big or as small as you want it to be.